Agenda item 9 is mayor's comments, and I'm going to take a few minutes here today. So before we begin, I wanted to, I believe it was Pleased Golf is the organization that brought the professional, I hope I said that correctly, brought the professional baseball players in last night that I was in attendance for our Little League. It was a fantastic outing for them. They were able to meet with professional baseball players, learn some professional skills, and it didn't cost the city or the kids a dime. And this is also part of the Long Drive program. It was a great thing for this community, and they're reaching out in other aspects, and that's one more thing that we can add to that long list of great things that come to us as a result of the Long Drive. Now, to make it perfectly clear, I support the Long Drive being in Mesquite and keeping it here as long as they're willing to have it here. We have spent, I know Councilman Rapson, Councilman Gustavson, and I have spent weeks working to try and find the compromises that need to be made in order to make this happen. I'm meeting tomorrow with some interested parties. I'll keep it at that. I have received financial commitments from parties that heretofore have not been a part of this. I will be meeting with the real estate agents on Wednesday to pitch them, and I was glad that Ms. Reisinger was here tonight, and I hope that I have her support as I meet with all of the real estate agents tomorrow at their luncheon to ask them for some financial commitments to help keep the Long Drive in Mesquite. I know that Councilman Rapson has been working with the LVCVA. I know that Councilman Gustavson has been working with all interested parties as well. I don't know if there's anything else that I can add to that at this point, but we have been in negotiations. I have met with Mr. Lee on a number of occasions to try and find some compromises. I have met with Mr. Sellinger on a number of occasions. I have been to the Long Drive. In fact, Councilman Withelder and I were just getting off a golf course before we got here in support of the Long Drive. Obviously, it's a little more fun to be golfing than working, but we indeed were working, trying to show our support for what a great program the Long Drive is for Mesquite, and we are fully aware of that. Now, I fully intend that if we can find these compromises that need to be made, to ask our council to increase the amount of funding that we do currently provide for the Long Drive to make sure that we can keep it here. But I'm also looking for private commitments as well. And like I said, I've talked to one private organization already that is committed. I'm hoping that the real estate agents will be able to step up and add something to that as well. And again, I will be doing that tomorrow at their annual luncheon. With that, I will turn over some time to Councilman Withelder. I know, Councilman, I forgot to mention that you were a part of that as well, trying to keep them here, so I apologize for that. I'm pretty sure most council members, I won't speak for you, but I probably should. I think we pretty much all support it, and I'll leave it at that, and I'll probably just get in trouble for making that statement, but oh well.
And thank you, Your Honor. I, of course, am in total support. I've been a resident of Mesquite since the year 2000, and the first trip I made to Mesquite just happened to coincide with Long Drive, and needless to say, as a golfer, I've been hooked ever since and have not missed an event. As a councilman, I played in the Pro-Am the last 3 years, and really get to see how far some of these guys can hit a ball. Makes me feel grossly inferior, as a matter of fact. I absolutely want to thank, as you probably know, I'm very instrumental in the new formation of the Little League in town, and I want to thank all those former Major League players that showed up and supported almost 100 of our kids and their families last night down at the fields by the Deuce to give them an instructional evening. You can't put a value on that. I mean, how good is teaching kids how to play baseball? You know, other than mom and apple pie and a flag, it don't get any better than that. One other item, we have a golf tournament for the Veterans Center coming up on the the 16th of November. It's for the benefit, again, of the Vet Center. Obviously, everybody knows how to get a hold of me, but if you're interested in sponsoring a hole or coming in as a player or a foursome, whatever, we've got lots of room and would love to have you. And keep the long drivers in Mesquite. Thanks.
Councilman Rapson.
I too want to speak in favor of the long drive, and I got to tell you, when I got the call from Randy Black, basically unilaterally pulling their support financially and room-wise, I was absolutely furious and blindsided, to say the least, as I believe Art Sellinger was, and I think actually Greg Lee might have been surprised at that. So, having said that, I want to say that I have been involved in the long drive since 1997, I believe was the first year they had it at the Casablanca Golf Course. I worked for the Casablanca at that time. #1 hole. It was a wind-blown, freezing cold evening with small bleachers, and I think we were lucky to have 150 people there. Most of them were our employees and long drivers. It evolved into something tremendous, and it's a great sports event for this community from every perspective. And I mean, I know Jason Zubek, Vince Cerlini, geez, I can go down the list, Jerry James, Sean Pfister. I've had Vince and his wife Dallas at our house for dinner. They're a great group of people, very professional, and we are working, believe me, to keep them here. We are going to keep them here if we can. We need that fifth wheel to fall into place, and that's down the road. So wish us luck, because we are working hard to get it.
Councilman Littman.
Thank you, Mayor. Last evening I attended an event and spoke with Art Sellinger for quite some period of time prior to the event. And I assure you that there is everybody in this council backing the long drive 100%. Art had told me that he had met yesterday down in Las Vegas. He'd just gotten back shortly before that in negotiations. And I assured him that I was 100% behind it. I'm not a golfer, but it's a tremendous boon to our city. And now that NBC and the Golf Channel have picked it up, it'll even be a more powerful event for our city. So I back it 100%. On another note, let me announce what we're doing right now. November 3rd is our Veterans Day in Mesquite. We hold it earlier because of a number of reasons, but one of the main reasons is that we can be assured of a flyover, or almost always assured of a flyover, by having it a week before Las Vegas. This year, we're having a 7:45 in the morning memorial service at Veterans Park, which is adjacent and across from Smith's. I encourage everybody to turn out, and at 10 o'clock our parade will begin, and again, hopefully we'll have our U.S. Air Force flyover. And following that, at 12 noon, we're having a barbecue at the Veterans Park, and the public is invited. We're going to have more serving lines this year because I've got almost 500 JROTC cadets coming, 16 full bus loads, and a marching band from Las Vegas also coming. And those kids are always hungry, of course. So get there and have a good time. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Littman. Councilman Gustavson.
I'd like to go backwards just a minute and talk just about a second about the longbow drive. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. I've been going to them as well every year since 1999 when I first moved down here. I've seen it every year gets more and more exciting. And last year, even though there was a little wind, it was really exciting because we just about didn't have a long enough field. I think we got down to the last 5 feet or something, and we were just about out of the field. So I think it brings a lot of people here. I wish some way we could get everybody in this community to take one look, spend 15 minutes to look at the presentation that's been put together by the Long Drive people that explains this whole program and what it's going to do for this community, because it's easy for us to mention that it's going to be on this channel, that channel, and so on, but you just can't believe the amount of coverage and how many times this is going to be viewed, because each one of these events are going to be viewed 4 times each. Additionally, there's going to be players who are going to be interviewed, and they're going to tell some of their stories about how, and we heard an interesting story from our longbow gentleman sitting in the back here, as he was receiving his jacket for the longbow championship Hall of Fame. But anyway, some way or another, we need to get a copy of that, and we need to make it available so the community can come and take a look at it. I'm not sure how we do that. Ernie, are you out there? Is that possible, Ernie?
Depends on how it is and how long it is and when you can get it.
Well,
I'll gladly donate whatever that they're.
Yeah.
It seems that everybody just not gets.
I think even if we could get one day and invite the entire community up to take a look at it, and maybe Bob Shivey down there to buy popcorn for everybody. He's the only one I know that has that much money, so. Anyway, if you would be willing to do that, I think it would be great. I don't know how the rest of the council or the mayor feels about it, but I think it would be something very worthwhile to the community.
Councilman Without.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is just something that you and I are probably personally sharing. At 2:15 this morning, I sent the mayor an email because I had gone to bed at about 10 o'clock and could not sleep because I'm thinking about maintaining the long drive competition in Mesquite, Nevada. And after the wheels were turning and rolling and turning and turning, I thought, well, I don't know if I'm going to see him tomorrow, and I don't know if I'm going to see him before the council meeting. Needless to say, I didn't know I was going to be playing golf with him today, so the most direct line of communication was an email. And needless to say, before 6 o'clock this morning, I had an answer. So it looks like we were up all night sharing the same thoughts as to how and what and where and why we could rectify what was possibly facing us. And hopefully those concerns have been met. I understand that we're working toward the greater goal, but I don't think it's been met yet. But anyway, I want to share that at 2 o'clock in the morning. I was thinking about all you guys. Thanks.
Councilman Hafen.
I just want everybody to understand that I do support this thing 1,010%. I will say that where things happen is with you. The shared use path that Robin came up and explained, that was a citizen input that was changed. We did what we wanted to do for the betterment of the community. I appreciate the comments that were said in public comment about keeping the long drive here. I think now that you know who you need to talk to, we're committed. We're going to do everything we can to keep it here. Let's keep the vision open so that maybe we can bring a few more rooms and things, so we're not maybe necessarily beholden to one entity or one business to keep this thing here, so we can expand it. But we need to keep that vision open long term so we can continue to keep that here and continue to grow Mesquite. So please use your voices to let those that need to be heard hear the message so that we can keep this thing here. Thank you.
Councilman Rapson, did you have a comment?
I just wanted to add that from a functional standpoint, we can replace the funding. We can certainly try. We can pick the time of year. But from a practical standpoint, if the hotels are not cooperative in allowing rooms or giving rooms or providing rooms or rates to the long drivers, it's going to be difficult road, and that's where the linchpin is here. Just as Councilman Hafen said, we need more rooms so we have more flexibility with respect to rooms and not so dependent on one or two properties. At the end of the day, they generate the room tax, they say where it goes, and that's sadly the way it is. But I think we've with all parties, Art, with certainly Greg Lee, with the mayor and the council that's been working, everybody's been working in the same direction. LVCVA, comment from Rossi and Julian, we're paddling like ducks in the water. Our feet are moving 100 miles an hour right now to keep this thing here. So everybody's working in the same direction. We just have one more hurdle, and we'll know soon enough.